conversation I often have with people is about the different kinds of relationships they have in their life. For balance, I think all of us should have three kinds of relationships. Number one, someone to look up to, a mentor, a guide, a model, someone to show you the path forward and the pitfalls to avoid. Secondly, I think we all need someone to share a boat with, a friend, a peer, a colleague, someone to connect with based on similar experiences. This gets hard when you change positions at work or go from being single to having two kids. I know a lot of empty nesters trying to rediscover who they're going to do life with. This can be challenging, but it's important. Thirdly, I think we should all have someone that we're paving a way for, a mentee, someone you're helping along the way, someone in the organization that can do nothing for you. This is someone for whom you're opening doors. Those are three boxes to check relationally. However, this lesson and this lesson's workbook exercise is only for box number 3. I'm willing to bet there's somebody in your life you need to take a risk on, somebody to whom you need to give a chance or a second chance. That can be hard, I know. But if you're going to thrive in your life, you've got to trust other people. Trusting other people is so hard. I get the opportunity to work with professional athletes, and perhaps the number one thing they often struggle with is who to trust. 98% of the people in their lives want something from them. So it can be really hard to know who's really for you. I was talking with one of these athletes one day, and I stated the obvious, that it's hard to know who to trust. But then I said, today, let's do some math. How many people have broken your trust in your entire life? 10? 15? 50? 50 would be a lot. Most people get to 5, and they just stop trusting the world. But let's go double that with 10. Let's just say 10 people have taken advantage or disappointed you, or didn't do what they said they would do. Those people are out there for sure, but isn't it interesting? We never see ourselves as those people. We know they exist, but I've never heard anyone admitting to being one. So what that does is give us some interesting math. Are we sure we want to paint the whole world a specific color based off of our experience with 10 people? Could it be that there's more than 10 people we should take a chance on, that we should open a door for? I know there's been a lot of people who have done that for me. One of the things I want you to do in this module is something that I do often when I get a speaking engagement. I call it my breadcrumb slide. Essentially, what I do is follow the breadcrumbs from the first person who took a chance on me all the way to the person responsible for bringing me into that very event. For my slide, it always takes me back to a high school English teacher. I grew up in a lower income neighborhood, but my parents scraped together all the money they could to put my brothers and I into a private school. After my dad had a stroke, we could no longer afford to continue going there. But a freshman English teacher named Mrs. Holstead and her husband decided to pay for our tuition to keep us in that school. Because of her, I was able to get connected with my college basketball coach, Cedric. Because of him, I was able to get connected to the VIP of admissions at my university, Nate, who introduced me to my first boss, Justin. Justin introduced me to a guy named Kent, who had me speak in Chicago, and then told a friend, Steven, from Dallas about me. A guy named Jason heard me speak at Steven's church and asked me to come speak at his church. In the audience at Jason's church was a gal named Lacey. Lacey introduced me to multiple speakers bureaus and agents who now allow me to speak and coach all over the world. I would love for people to believe that I just worked harder than everybody else. I know a lot of people who work hard. I would love to tell you that I'm self-made and I created all this by myself, but that's just not true. I had help. And I've got a list of names you can see on the screen to prove it. Every single one of those people took a chance on me. Whether you realize this or not, at some point in your life, somebody hired you and the whole time they were doing this. We'll see how this goes. They rolled the dice on you. In light of the people who took a chance on you, why wouldn't you want to do the same for somebody else? There's somebody in your life that has a major destination to get to that won't unless you give them a shot. Take a moment and ask yourself, how did I get where I am today? I get that you may not be where you want to be, but if you're taking this course, you're further than you used to be at minimum. Who helps you get here? Write down your breadcrumb list. Call them, text them, email them, write them a letter, take them to lunch. Let them know that they made a difference in your life. Secondly, write down the name of someone you can take a chance on. This is the person who will someday have you on their breadcrumb slide. The last module in this course is for level 6 living, where you've mastered enough areas of your own life to help somebody else do the same.